is the present petition for a fifth Marian dogma regarding Mary as the spiritual mother of all humanity in her three essential aspects as co-redemptrix, mediatrix, and advocate. Is this petition something contrary to the ecumenical mandate of the Church? Welcome to MaryCast. This is Dr. Mark Miravalle, Professor of Theology and Mariology at the Franciscan University of Steubenville. And again, I'm eager to answer this question because it is arguably the most posed objection to the proclamation of the fifth Marian dogma. I would maintain that this solemn proclamation, when the Holy Father defines the existing truth regarding Mary as our spiritual mother as a definition, that this will encompass a giant step forward in authentic ecumenical activity. Now, let me explain to you why I believe it will be only gain in terms of what really is the ecumenical mission of the Church. And I want to start by saying every Catholic is called to work for authentic Catholic ecumenism. This is not just an individual spirituality of choice. This is a mandate of the Church. We must seek to bind, to bring together, to heal the wound, which is really ultimately a wound in the heart of Jesus himself, that his disciples are divided. See it from the perspective of the Sacred Heart of Jesus, how much it pains him to have brothers and sisters calling themselves Christians, but not in oneness of truth or oneness of church. And that means not in a oneness of life. So the ecumenical mission of the Church is an ecumenical mandate for every Catholic. The issue is a pronouncement regarding Mary a violation of that? Why would I say it's a giant step forward in ecumenical activity? Well, look, when we're talking about the reasons for a definition, one of the major reasons historically is that a definition is done at times of controversy. The Pope will use his infallible charism to clarify something that has been and at least at present remains a point of confusion. There's a lack of clarity. Well, there's no greater way to clarify the role of Mary, the mother of Jesus, as the spiritual mother of all humanity, than to request the vicar of Christ on earth, the person whom Catholics believe has the highest authority and has the role of teaching like no other individual has, asking him to say, all right, there's controversy, there's confusion, we need clarification. Can you, Holy Father, can you give us a solemn declaration on exactly, precisely, biblically, theologically, traditionally, and also in a contemporary fashion, what does the Church believe about the Mother of Jesus in relation to humanity? What does the Church believe about the Mother of Jesus in her role in redemption, always secondary and subordinate to Jesus, but unique? What does the Church believe about Mary's role in obtaining and distributing the graces of redemption? What does the Church truly hold about Mary's role as an intercessor, as a spiritual mother? So if we're talking about ecumenism, once again, we're talking about clarity, we're talking about truth, we're talking about a perfection of doctrine, we're talking about the Holy Father providing, without any question, what is the teaching of the Catholic Church on Mary's spiritual motherhood. And that's why it would be a very positive step in ecumenism. That's why for anyone who thought that the Catholic Church places Mary on a level of equality with Jesus Christ, anyone who thought that the Catholic Church sees Mary as a goddess and gives her adoration and worship in the form of what is appropriate only to God, this would be a single document, a single statement on the highest level of Catholic teaching saying no to those things and yes to these things. No, she's not a goddess. No, she's never put on a level of equality with Jesus Christ in the Catholic Church. No, she is not worshipped and adored in a fashion that's true of only appropriate to God. But yes, it is the teachings of the Catholic Church and therefore the teachings of Jesus through his church that at Calvary, Jesus gives us the gift of his mother to be our mother. In those words, behold your mother. And so, once again, if clarity is what we're looking for, if it's taking away confusion, if it's having a statement about what the Catholic Church believes about the Blessed Virgin, which is true and the best possible articulation of the truth, then it's a no-lose proposition to have a solemn definition so that everyone knows with clarity what the Church teaches. And also, there's the dimension of what's appropriate for the Mother of Jesus. Does the Mother of Jesus herself not deserve to have a clarity and articulation for these roles which she provided for the human family? That yes, she suffered with Jesus like no other creature. Yes, she mediates, she distributes the graces acquired by Jesus at Calvary like no other creature. And yes, she intercedes, she pleads on behalf of humanity and the needs of humanity like no other creature. So the definition would really, truly serve ecumenism in the highest form. And I want to refer to a letter from the late Cardinal O'Connor, the former primate from New York, who sent his letter of support to Pope John Paul II for this solemn definition. And in his letter, he again underscores the point we're making here, and that is that it would serve the ecumenical mission of the Church to have clearly articulated what the Church does believe about Mary in union with Jesus, and also what the Church does not believe in terms of any levels of equality with Mary and Jesus. So, if we're reviewing again what ecumenism is, prayer, dialogue, seeking Christian unity based on truth, the dogma of Mary as spiritual mother of all humanity can only help. I would say, even for those who may not say, well, I don't know if we need a perfection of the doctrine. I don't know if it's necessarily going to be an occasion of grace. Even for people with those types of objections, I would say, well, where's the loss in the Holy Father using his charism of infallibility in making the most precise possible statement regarding Mary? If this is what we hold, and this is something that cannot be denied and should not be denied, where would there be a loss in the Pope making a proclamation of this truth to clarify? You know, sometimes there's kind of a dogma catch-22 that happens where you say, well, there's no need for a definition because it's already understood by all. And then some will say, well, there's no need for a definition because there's too much confusion. Well, it can't go both ways. If you grant the legitimacy of the perfection of the doctrine, then yeah, it's time for a definition. If you believe that the graces will come because Our Lady's roles will be acknowledged, then it's time for the definition. But if you think, well, listen, this is just too confusing, people aren't sure about what this is, that also gives a reason for the definition. This allows the Pope to say clearly, unambiguously, this is what the Church believes about the Mother of Jesus. So, in both cases, and quite frankly in all cases, whether you're talking about the scriptural foundations of the truth, the theological foundations, its existence and tradition, which cannot and should not be denied in any authentic ecumenical dialogue. In what the popes have said about the Blessed Virgin Mary as the co-redemptrix, mediatrix, and advocate, what the Second Vatican Council has confirmed in our age, and what John Paul II says in being the great Marian teacher that he was, and now what Pope Benedict XVI said, even as recent as Easter Sunday, when he says that Mary shared in the passion and in the crucifixion of Jesus Christ. These are all reasons why now is the time for a fifth Marian dogma, with the Church using her charism and the Vicar of Christ using the keys to unlock this truth afresh for greater awareness, for greater clarification, and truly for greater grace, I believe historic graces, for the Church in this time. That's why, whether it's one who's just beginning to understand the truth about Mary and the appropriateness for the dogma, or for those theologians and priests and clergy and bishops, that's why it's time for the proclamation of the fifth Marian dogma. Please keep it in your prayers. Please keep Pope Benedict XVI in your prayers, that the time is right, that Our Lady may receive her earthly crown as she's already crowned in heaven. Thank you. God bless you.